Welcome. My name is Mark Q. Bennett. I am the CMO Chief Marketing Officer for the Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing LLC. And thank you for coming for our first T-Tips. That is Thursday tips at 10. And we're going to try to do this every Thursday at 10. And the goal is to just give you some free advice on different business marketing tips, just different things to help you succeed. All right. So for instance, this first tip that we're going to go over is just starting a business when you have multiple skills. The reason why I'm doing this one first, because a lot of times what we do is we have these businesses we want to do. And everybody keeps saying, I want to start a business. Rise and Grind Twitter says, let's go get a business, start a business, all these things. But in your mind, you're like, so what do I do? A lot of times you have these people when you have all of these different skills, meaning I dance, I do graphic design, I do cartwheels, I know how to sell things, I know how to do marketing, I know how to do fashion, I sing, you just have all these different skills you know how to do. I know how to write well. It's just you have all of these random skills that you have, these random talents that you have been given, and you know how to use these talents, but you're like, how can I put this together for a business? So you start trying to justify it with yourself. You're like, all right, I'm gonna start this business first and then this business later. But then you're like, well, maybe if I start this business first, then what if I was supposed to start this one first? So you get caught up in this. I have these different talents, so I have to have all these different businesses to support these talents. And the reality is you're actually thinking about it backwards. Let's go into it. But before you get into it, let me first explain a little bit about who I am. So my name is Mark Bennett. I am a graphic designer. I am a marketing consultant. I am a poet. I am a web designer. I am a dancer. I am a teacher. I am a job readiness instructor. I'm a lot of different things. I have a lot of different skills that kind of play into a bunch of different things. What I did was, me and my wife together, the CEO, which is my wife, Kristen Melissa Ray Bennett, we decided to start this business that was kind of, how do we put this? We decided to, instead of finding out how our skills are going to work into a business, instead, let's figure out a problem that we see. How is this problem that we see? What is this problem that we see as a problem? And then how can we use our skills to fix it? All right. So, for instance, our business, the Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing, is a marketing agency in Nassau County focused on marketing creatives and other small business owners that are following a cause and a passion. Our tagline is where creativity meets business. That's our tagline. That's what we kind of use. So what I would do is as a poet, I would go to open mics, or I will be part of these artist events, and I will see this great, fantastic art. People who are fantastic at what they do. But what I realize is that when they try to go out, or if they would not feel confident enough to bring that art out and make money off of it, right? Of course, some people, they do it as a hobby, but people who want to make money off of it, they don't know how to do that correctly. So they're like, how do I make this art profitable? So I always say the best art you would never see because it's just not marketed well. But what you do see a lot of times nowadays is how bad art with good marketing can go far. So bad music, music that's not that well, but is marketed good. People might not have the talent for something, but they know how to market themselves well, succeed. They do well. So there's something in that being marketed well and having good business that plays into everything else. So when you want to figure out how to make your talents work together and how to make them fix, the first thing I always say to do is figure out who are you? Who are you first, right? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? What skills are you good at? What are the skills you enjoy doing? So all these skills you have, what do you exactly enjoy doing though? Because sometimes you're very good at something, but you hate doing it. So if you don't like doing it, then maybe that's not what you want to use. But what are these skills you have to do? Who are you? Once again, what are you passionate about? Where do you live? Where do you live? Because a lot of companies are very location based. Meaning they might have a similar business to yours somewhere else, but they don't have it where you live, and that's why you think it's important, because it's not where you live. Where do you work? Right? Where do you work is an important thing, because sometimes you're at work and you're like, the way they're doing things is not in the best way. And I can try to make some modifications the best I can, but I can't do the most because I'm just a worker here. Even if I give suggestions once in a while, I can't really put forth the best effort to do something because I just work here. I'm not the CEO. I'm not the executive, so I don't know what to do. Right? Where do you go to school? Meaning, do you see something at school that you feel like this could be done better? When a company decided that people were trying to buy books, sometimes people don't want to buy books anymore. So let's find an online way for people to rent books. So they created a company for that. So like there's always something going on that someone sees there's a need there. I'm going to create a company for that. Now people are making money from it, but like I said, where is the need? How do you get around? How do you get around? Do you drive? Do you take the bus? Do you take the train? What are your thoughts about that? What music do you like? All right. I'm a very big hip hop person, right? But hip hop has a lot of subgenres, and those subgenres came from. I don't make hip hop like that, like what's usually made, but I make hip hop like this. Like a lot of people know that hip hop started in the South Bronx, and they had a certain way that they rap, in a certain way that they did their music, right? The West Coast, they took that style and they didn't do it exactly like that. They were like, we're going to do it this way that reflects where we are. Meaning they said, we have a need for our environment. This is something different. So we're going to market this to our environment because this is based off of our style, which is based off of where we live. And that's really how subgenres come about, is because I'm not going to do it the same way that's always been done. I'm going to change it around. And what do you like to do for fun? Right? What do you do for fun? Do you go out? Do you go partying? Do you go to museums? Do you go driving? Whatever it is, sometimes it's good to figure that out because that might help out a lot. Do you like going out to eat? Whatever it is, something that you might like will help find out what you're passionate about. All right. Once you find out who you are, what you like, what your skills you have, then you figure out what is the problem. What is this problem you're trying to solve? Where do you see a need? Sometimes you see a need and like you always say there's a problem with this and people around you like it's not that big of a problem, but in your mind you're like this is something that needs to be fixed. And you see the solution and you're wondering why you keep telling your manager, you keep telling your supervisor this needs to be fixed a certain way, or the CEO is like, no, this is not how we do it things here. But you know there is a need that needs to happen. These customers are not getting what they need because of the process that this company has. So sometimes it makes sense if you see the need and you have the skill set for it to create a company to accommodate that need that someone else has. It's a good thing to do, right? And that's kind of what that means. It's trying to find that need and based off of what you're doing. Is there a forgotten population in a certain field? It plays into that whole thing. Maybe you see something and they're focusing a lot on people ages 30 to 40, but you realize that people under the age of 30 need something. Or you see something that's focused on people or millennials, but you notice that Generation Z or Generation Alpha, which is the new ones, they need something for that too, but you have to cater to them specifically. It's okay to have very niche, very specific markets. That's kind of how a lot of companies flourish, is because they have a very specific market and they have very loyal customers because they're catering specifically to them. I always use the example of J. Cole, right? J. Cole has a big fan base, but he only cares about his fan base. All his art, everything he focuses on is on his fan base only. He's not trying to focus on anybody else. He's not trying to focus on any other outside people. He's like, all my music, everything I cater to, I talk to my fan base and my fan base only. If my fan base is cool with it, that's all that matters. Everything else, I'm not worried about. So, because my belief is that he was like, I'm going to focus on college students, which was kind of like a forgotten fan base a lot of times when it comes down to music. Because if you notice, a lot of times hip hop, new acts always cater to the younger generation. They always cater to people from the ages of 15 to about 19. That's usually at their age range that they cater to. Because that's, even though it's adult music, that's kind of who they cater to a lot of times. And that's who they usually like. That's why older artists used to be a very low thing to have, is older hip hop artists, for that reason, right? But J. Cole was like, I'm focusing on college students, right? That is my market. That is who I'm focusing on. That's who I'm marketing to, are college students. So he spoke to a market that had a need and went through with it, right? Once you have you know who you are, once you figured out what your problem is, now you need to figure out who else is stealing your idea. What that means is there's other people that might have something similar to you, but it's good to have research about what that is. What have they done with the idea? What else have they done? All right. Where do you see where you can improve it? So they've done it this way, but you see like, they can do this a little bit better this way. So you're looking for improvements in that. Are they focusing on the population or location that you are? Are they doing it in the location you are? Are they focusing on that population? Are they focusing on young black professional millennials? Is that what they're focusing on? Is that what you're focusing on? Like, what are they focusing on? Will they market the same as you? Will you market the same way? Because everybody has different style of marketing. Do they have the same skill set as you? And that's where it comes in. Do they have the skill set that you have? They might have some things you have, but everybody is unique. Everybody's a different person, so they're going to have different skills that might help out. And then when you see that competition, you see what it is, then you have to find out, how do you create your own lane now? How do you create this lane that people might have used before? How do you create your own lane in this wide market that you have? Whether you're doing cosmetics, whether you're doing fashion, it might be a wide market, but your lane, you got to figure out how to create your own lane. And you create your own lane, finding out what skills you have. When we have our business, like I said, it's a marketing agency. There's always a marketing agency out there. What makes us unique is because we are artists also. I am a poet. My wife is a singer. We are artists. So we understand artist plight. So we'll go to the open mics and talk. And not just for selling, but we enjoy the art. We just enjoy art. We understand how to market something without taking away the purpose behind it. When an artist says, I don't want to compromise my art, we understand what that means, right? We have a certain skill set that is helpful. All right. Don't limit yourself to what has been done already. A lot of times people feel as if, well, we've done this way before. I've seen this done. And this is the way they've always done it. You can always find different ways to do things. All right. Good example. Internet conversations were supposed to be only one way. Meaning, a lot of times when I was growing up, the big internet conversation, that was the big thing, were internet chat rooms. That was supposed to be the big thing. And then after internet chat rooms, was Facebook. That was the big thing. And Facebook was supposed to be the only kind of social media of its kind. And then in comes Twitter, in comes Instagram, in comes Snapchat, in comes TikTok, all these other platforms that have found their own way to figure out to make it work. They're like, all right, you have done social media this way, but I'm going to do social media this way. You've done social media this way, but I'm going to do social media this way. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, it's all social media, but how they utilize it is different. What it's used for is different. How they use their information, even though like they all might do pictures, how they do it is different. Who they market to is different. A lot of people don't know that each platform sometimes is geared towards a certain age range. Usually Facebook, if you're using Facebook to market your business, you're usually catering to people over the age of 30. If you're using Twitter to market your business, you're usually marketing to more men than other platforms. More men use Twitter than other platforms, right? Pinterest, more women use Pinterest than other platforms. So like sometimes you have to figure out which platform makes sense for it. So like when you're doing, like I said, when you're doing social media, that's why they create social media for different things. Same thing. Concerts were supposed to be only one way. You go to a concert, you see it, great. Ever since the pandemic hit, all the concerts are online now. It's a big thing to have online concerts, right? So now you have concerts online. Everybody's doing concerts online. Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and it's a normal thing to do. It's a normal thing to do. And now this kind of changed the market on how things go. Because now, instead of saying this artist can't go here and can't go there, let's open up the market so anybody can do this. Right? And that's kind of what happened. They opened up the market so that anybody can participate in this movement. And so that's the end of this. But I just wanted to just let you know, just try to rethink. Once again, the goal is to rethink how we move. Rethink how you move in this. Don't just think about the skills you have and how to make a business from that. Think about what problem do you want to solve. All right. Whatever problem you want to solve, then you figure out what different ways can I use these skills to solve that problem. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, I am Mr. Mark Bennett. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of the Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing. You can find us at theblm.com. You can find us on Facebook at the Bonafide LM on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram at Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing LLC. You can find us on Twitter at the BLM_blog. We also have a podcast. It's called the All Love, No Fear podcast. With both of us are hosts for it. Once again, it's me, myself, and my wife, Kristen Melissa Renee Bennett. We also have a new venture. It's called My Love is Fearless. If you are a small business or if you are an artist, you can upload your information to there for free. It is a free Yelp, the best way to explain it. You can upload your information, your pictures, and everything. It's another way for people to find where you are and contact you. Once again, if you have any questions for the business, contact@theblm.com. That is the email. For the podcast, you can find the podcast at alllovenofearpcast.com. For the listserv, where you can post your information, that is myloveisfearless.com. Thank you, and see you next Thursday for Thursday Tips at 10.